The Polynesian Voyaging Society joins up with artist Kamea Hadar of Pow Wow Hawaiʻi, clothing designer Keola Nakaahiki Raposo of Fitted Hawaii, and the talented youth from 808 Urban in a spirited gathering of visual creation upon the canoes.
It started in Palm Springs, of all places. I was doing a talk there about powwow and some of the contemporary culture of Hawaii. And Bruce was there, and he was doing a talk about some of the traditional cultures of Hawaii and basically about Hōkūleʻa and everything. And I actually joked that, you know, anytime you want us to paint on your boat, we'd love to, you know, do some crazy stuff on the sails or, you know, just as a joke. And he actually said, you know, that's kind of a good idea. Let's try and work something out.
With this connection with Pow Wow and Urban 808, I was so inspired of what they're doing. It's so important. Art is so important to a community. And so we got to talking about the voyage and what's, you know, all the things we're doing. And, you know, he had some ideas and I said, God, this is perfect.
We can like explain the different imagery as the day progresses, but if you guys each want to like just pick one. This is Samoa, Aotearoa, Rapa Nui, Rarotonga.
The designs they're doing are representation of kind of like the genealogy. It's a genealogy of what Hōkūleʻa has done so far in its 140,000 miles of voyaging over the, you know, over 3 decades.
Yeah. That one we'll do the top one instead. Okay. I sat with Bruce and I basically just took notes for hours and hours, and he was just giving me all these stories about these different places they'd been. And basically, these images is just me trying to translate his stories into some kind of visual language.
What they're doing with the hatch covers, we've done that before with Hōkūleʻa in the past. And it was just a way of getting a larger community or people outside of PVS and the voyaging community to come and be a part of putting the voyage together and how their mana sails with us.
We could easily have printed out designs with a computer and just put vinyls, but it's important that it's somebody's hand touched the work and that you could see that a person created this. And this is the same constellation that I painted on the hale, on Hikianalia, on the roof. And then the way that we spaced it is Ola did the water pattern around it.
This is actually one of the first times that I'm painting something big structure like this. We wanted to get it as anatomically correct as possible. So instead of hand painting it, we laid it out on a computer and we measured the hale. But because it's round in some areas and it grays in some areas, it's kind of a challenge. So we did it this way, laying out the vinyl first, and then moving it, placing it, setting everything up at least as accurate as possible, and then painting is the easiest part. The inspiration is first to mahalo the famous Hōkūleʻas of our past. This kai ani ani, this kai pattern, is to mahalo some of the tools, which would, you know, the umeke that carries the water. The main thing with anything, the theory of form follows function is really important to me as a designer. So the fact that this thing is going to function in the simplest sense, it's going to cut down the glare. That should be the first use of the pattern. If it can engage a conversation, that's icing on the cake, you know.
I tell you, when people around the world see this, they're gonna be just really amazed by it, of course. And then when they learn that it's like, you know, teenagers doing it, you know, it's like even brings more meaning to it.
He wants Hōkūleʻa and Hikianalia to be everyone's canoe and not, you know, they are sacred, but not untouchable. Because people feel the power of the canoe, but they need to also feel like they can touch it and connect to it.